of the Inkululeko Yesizwe Church that has about 10 million followers, we're told. Dr. Prophet, a very good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Look, places of worship may resume services, but limited to 50 people. How will this be monitored?
From Inkululeko Yesizwe, sorry, by the way, not church, but is an association of religious organizations. From our side, we welcome the announcement by the president to open churches. We can say it was a bit long overdue, but we don't welcome the 50 because we don't understand how did they get to the number 50. I'll make an example. For us, we believe that if a building, a church building, can accommodate 3,000, so social distancing has to be done. Probably that 3,000 they'll only be able to accommodate 1,500, half of their number, as long as social distancing is observed, sanitization of the building, sanitization of the people, and also wearing of masks. Because for us, who have thousands of followers who come to one service in our churches, we as we sit now, we don't know how we are going to work it out. Who is going to come in, who is not. Others think that you can make more than one services. If you have in one services 3,000, 5,000 people, and you only can put inside 50 people. So, I mean, how many services per day are you going to conduct that?
I'll be very interested to find out, does the dynamics of spread in terms of COVID-19 change when you are in a confined space for a long period of time, in some instances singing, etc., etc.? Is the 2 meters or the 1.5 meters enough in terms of social distancing or physical distancing in terms of how the virus moves? We're going to try to bring in an infectious disease expert to explain this for us. Does that change in any way when you are in a confined space? Talk to us about the impact that the closure of places of worship have had on your members.
Yes, we obviously are aware of the fact that people are not only physically, but they are also spiritual, and they have a spiritual need to be taken care of. And that's why our organization, with even other organizations that make up about more than 18 million, have written to government as well, and put our proposals as well, as much as we have been a bit sidelined and ignored. But we have spoken about that religious leaders or spiritual leaders were supposed to render essential services from the onset, especially counseling. If I could show you physically, personally, the videos and the requests of sick people, or not only sick physically, but spiritually, people who have spiritual issues and spiritual problems, who needed spiritual assistance that technology could not afford to give them, were struggling. They were writing emails, they were writing letters, they were sending videos each and every single day. Because we also need to remember that in the African, in indigenous African spirituality, it differs from other ways of religions. We need to sit with the person who has an issue, and sometimes we need to read the energy of a person in order for us to conduct ceremonies or to be able to assist that person. And the technology does not give us that. You can't read an energy of a person through technology. So the impact was great, besides starvation and all other impacts, because church has been also in the front line of giving food hampers to the people. We've been assisting them. So other social issues and food and hunger, we've been there, but we've been limited. But spiritual issue, it was a disaster, and it was a great problem.
Prophet Radebe, you have taken issue with regards to the limit, 50 people or less, in terms of this gathering at places of worship. We've seen in other places around the world, in terms of congregation, in terms of people gathering to worship, there have been bad outcomes in terms of the spread of this virus. Are you concerned about that?
Yes, definitely we are. I think that it's the same as other religious leaders who have been calling for the opening of churches, and they were labeled as being that they were not, they did not care about the health of the people. We do care about the health of the people, but I mean, everything will be backed up by science. As
Yes.
I said before, we are not saying that we'll have to open the church and put 10,000 people. But for an example, before the lockdown, there was a ban of 100 people. Why 100 that time and why 50 now? And people get inside of a taxi, and there's no social distancing. But even if it's 15 people, it's a closed environment. The only protection that people have is their mask and sanitization, and they are next to each other. So we are saying, if the space, I'll make an example. If you go to F&B, it accommodates 100,000 people. Would you put 100 people and do social distancing? Or could you put a little bit more people with social distancing, with ventilation, with masks? So I think this is where our argument is. In terms of us being concerned, we are greatly concerned about the health of the people. We have been working, listening to the government. We have been adhering to all the health protocols that have been put in place because of the concern we have of the people.
How are you going to take this argument forward, Prophet? Are you going to appeal to the National Command Council in this regard?
I need just to be straightforward and honest. As I'm saying, with other organizations we've been writing, we have been ignored. So we will try, but I don't think we will succeed, and I don't think we'll be heard.
Look, Prophet, we are in a health crisis. It requires us, I guess, to dig deep and stand firm to overcome this health crisis. You would agree. It requires compassion. There are noble values that are shared by all faith communities. Have you seen examples of that coming to the fore during these uncertain times?
Yes. Yes, definitely we have seen. And I think it's at time I can also say that we are grateful. We have seen some kind of unity as well from the faith community doing the same call. So I think for us that is encouraging and that is good.
Religious leaders have a great platform, you would agree, great authority and at times trust in communities. But are they playing a proactive role in raising the level of public awareness around coronavirus?
Yes, definitely. They are definitely. Even before the ban came, we were already teaching our congregation about the social distancing, sanitizations, and masks, and we have been teaching them to listen to government. And this is our concern. Why the religious leaders were not deemed as essential from lockdown 5, because they do have this role, and if they were involved. And not necessarily probably opening up the church at level 5, but if they were involved with this role in communicating, if government had sat with the religious leaders and for them to map up a way of how they can, what role they can play during this COVID-19, I believe that they could have done a far better a job, because they are playing the role, they are teaching their congregations.
All right. Dr. Prophet Uzwi Lezwe, Radebe, thank you very much indeed for your time. God bless, be well.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now,